Our next guest company has been ranked by Inc. magazine in the top 1,000 fastest-growing companies in America in each of the last 3 years. Founded in 2006, Gorilla Capital buys, updates, and sells distressed real estate and has been profitable every year since its founding. John Helmick is the CEO of Gorilla Capital. He's a serial entrepreneur who you might know from his previous successful business ventures, Power School and eCollege. He joins us now. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
John, tell us about Gorilla Capital. What do you do to create value in these troubled housing markets?
Gorilla Capital buys distressed homes from the courthouse steps. What we do is we create value by making improvements to these homes. The improvements can be as simple as new carpet, new paint, and new appliances, or as intense as taking a 1,400 square foot home, demolishing all but one wall, and building a 2,400 square foot home where it was. However, what we really do best is when we find a home that's 30 years old or more and has not been renovated for at least 20 years. By knocking out some interior walls to open up and change the floor plan, and by adding the amenities and modern materials that today's home buyers demand, we're able to create tremendous value.
Now, John, as I mentioned, you're now the CEO of your third business venture. How is growing a business today different from Power School in 1998 or eCollege in 2001?
Well, the biggest difference in growing a company in 2012 and growing a company in the late 1990s is access to capital. Let's compare eCollege, which we founded in 1996 and took public 4 years later. In that 4-year period, eCollege raised private equity rounds of $1 million, $6 million, $15 million, and then did an IPO that raised $55 million. So we raised $77 million of capital in a 4-year period that eCollege never made a profit. In fact, eCollege did not make a profit until 3 years after its IPO. Now let's look at Gorilla Capital. We started Gorilla Capital in 2006, and we made a profit in 2006. We made a profit in 2007, in 2008, 2009. Gorilla Capital has made a profit every year of its existence. But even though we've been successfully making money, we've had difficulty raising capital. We've raised $4 million of private capital and $10 million of private debt, which we pay monthly interest on. But we could easily use another $5 million of capital in either debt or equity to ramp up our business from our current sales of $60 million per year to $100 million per year. And the big difference today, here while we're in the biggest recession of our lifetime, back in 1998, we had investment bankers and venture capitalists knocking down our door trying to provide us with capital. Today, when we try to raise capital, we're doing it one investor at a time.
Now, John, you've created 3 successful companies over the past 15 years. You said the biggest change and challenge today is raising capital. What hasn't changed?
The things that have not changed, and I suspect will not change, are the key building blocks of any new business. And I think there's 3 of them. First, a solid business model. You've got to have a business that makes sense, and you need to have a clear vision of what the company's going to become and be able to share that vision with not only employees, but with investors and customers. Second, you need the right people. A small startup business requires a lot of work and effort. You need people that like what they do and want to work together to meet that vision. You need to fill the company with people that have an incredibly strong work ethic. Third and finally, you need to be ready and willing to challenge the status quo. Every company that's been successful that I've been involved with has challenged the status quo. At Gorilla Capital, we made a number of innovations in our industry, including the application of technology to an industry that did not have a great deal of technological advancement. Gorilla Capital is now constantly challenging the status quo, and by doing that, we continue to create exceptional value for our customers and our investors.
John, thanks for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
That was John Helmick. Gorilla Capital's website can be found at www.gorillacapital.com.